Well, I thought I'd start off this episode today with making a nice storage system for the gold farm here. I've never really designed one of these myself before, but it wasn't that bad. You just flick this lever, a piston goes back and forth, pushes the items along item filters, and it works well. So you can just stand here. I have to use a different sword because if I use fire aspect it burns the armor stand, but you can just stand here, hit the piglins with looting 3. I'll probably have to fill my inventory like this, and then this piston is connected to this timer here, which has a pulse shortener, so the piston only extends for a short amount of time. But that piston pushes the items along and they fall down here and get pushed into the chest, so they're aligned properly, and they get pushed again and they all just run off a certain delay. And then we have this bell here so that the items can get pushed along but the baby zombie pigman can't escape. Okay, well I'm gonna stand here for about 5-10 minutes and just run the farm the whole time, and yeah, at the end of it we can see how much gold we have, but I just want to make sure it will work for a extended period of time. Okay, and just like that we've got a bit of gold. The item filters are still working fine, as you can see. I can fly straight to the piglin bartering farm, and then I can just go here, craft the gold, put it inside, and turn this on. Then I can get a whole lot of resources. Oh, that's not supposed to happen. Did I accidentally destroy that slime block? No, just, I don't know, place some obsidian there. Okay, now it looks like it's working. Yay! I don't know why that happened. I think I turned it on last time and I mustn't have turned it off when I left the chunks, so it must have just messed up the pistons and slime blocks. As you might have guessed from the title, today is a continuation of last episode where we built a bunch of automatic farms. So today we're going to build even more. And first off, I want to fix the wither skeleton farm. If you saw last episode, you'll know that for some reason the farm wasn't working that fast. It's Ian Exo4's design and usually it's really good, but stupidly I forgot to check one direction from the fortress, and it turns out within about 50 blocks is a spawnable area where there's a bunch of mobs that spawn and disrupt the spawning rates of the farm. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of spawn proofing. So I've crafted up all these blackstone pressure plates here. I could have just made slabs, but pressure plates are cooler. Okay, there's our farm, and right over here is where the mobs have been spawning, in this area and up here, and all the spawnable blocks here, which isn't that many. Okay, let's start putting down some pressure plates. I think I'm just going to do the rest with slabs because, yeah, I kind of underestimated how many pressure plates I would need. I'm pretty sure warped planks don't burn, and crimson planks don't burn either. Oh, they do, but I'm pretty sure they don't catch fire, but we'll find that out soon. Alright, I'm out of slabs, and yeah, that really should be everything unless I've missed a few blocks. So I think we're good. So I'm going to go back to the nether roof and let's test it out. And when I was building the farm, I built the AFK platform, or the killing platform I guess, one block too high somehow. I don't know how I made that mistake. So yeah, I just lowered it all, and lowered the killing chamber so it's nicer. But look at that, we're already getting quite a few wither skeletons. It would be cool one day to build a super high-tech, overpowered with a skeleton farm, but I don't really need that many beacons, and at the moment I don't need much bone meal, and I should probably just make a moss farm if I want bone meal, but maybe one day it would be a cool project. So it turns out I forgot to record the part where I killed the withers. I just ended up using the method where you go to the end and kill them underneath the end portal, where they just suffocate in the bedrock and you don't even have to do anything, you just hit them. I ended up with about 8 beacons, which is more than enough for me. But yeah, sorry about that, but let's head into the next part of the video. Okay, well, first project of today, we're going to be starting off small with a simple blaze farm. I have a bunch of potions of fire resistance here, so I'll just bring a few. Okay, let's look for a blaze spawner. Well, we've got one right here, so I'm going to splash some fire resistance and get digging. So from memory, have to go 4 blocks this way, 4 blocks this way, 4 blocks this way, and then 5 blocks this way. But we have to dig this all down 6 blocks below the spawner first. Okay, and there's 6 blocks deep. Okay, so now we need to make a platform that extends out to all of these parameters. Okay, I think this looks about right, but actually a good way to test it is by adding the lava. Yeah, I think the fences need to be 1 block further out, actually. Okay, so when we place this, it should leave a nice gap in the middle. Good. And yep, they're sinking down and they get slowly pushed towards the middle, you see? I don't like this. Yeah, the melee damage can be a bit dangerous. Alright, let's quickly dig down. And look at that, we got our first blaze. We're coming down from the nether roof. We can just go across here and straight in. And then wait for some blazes to spawn. We can get some nice blaze rods. You know, Garths are going to spawn and try and attack me, so maybe it's wise that we put some sort of blockage here, like iron doors. And then we can have, maybe to make it a little bit more spacious, I'll just do that. We can go out. And we can come in, out, and in. That'll just make it a little bit safer. But let's see, already got a bunch of blazes there, as you can see with their hitboxes on. Oh, that's a decent amount of XP too. Okay, well, there we go. A small farm to start the day off, but a successful one. Okay, well, we're not going to be leaving the nether just yet, because the next farm I want to build is a froglight farm. And forget what I just said, because we need to get some frogs from the overworld. It's been quite a while since I made a froglight farm, so hopefully I still know what to do with these frogs. Okay, here is a swamp. Yep, and we have some frogs. I'll see if I can find 5 of this kind of frog in the swamp. There we go, there's a 4th. Oh, there is one, right there. Lovely. 5 nice frogs. And this seems like a nice little area to set up a little shelter. And you make a roof so they don't jump out. No, they're all escaping. Go! Duh. We got them in. That was a bit of a difficulty. So I think we need some water here. So I'll fill this entire side with water. And feed them some slime balls. One for you too. And then we have some tadpole eggs. I think we have to wait about 20 minutes for these to grow into tadpoles, and then we have to wait a bunch of time for those tadpoles to grow into frogs. I'm going to capture the tadpoles in buckets so they can grow up in different biomes where they produce different coloured frogs. I think cold biomes you get the pearlescent frog. I think this is the ochre one, and then there's a green one. Oh, I think some of the tadpoles have hatched. Yeah, look at them. Is that 5 of them? Oh, so we can get all the tadpoles we need right now. Okay, there's 5, and I'll get another 3 buckets, so we can have 10 in total, and we can hatch 5 of them in each biome that we need. I think the plan is, so I'll pillar up really high, I'll attach a lead to all of them, then we'll fly back home, and I'll leave these guys and get the other 10, and then I'll come back, and then I'll bring them all to the nether at once. Okay, they have spawned. That worked out amazingly. Okay, so and the reason I have to look at that the reason I have to build up instead of just using firework rockets is because now you can't actually use firework rockets with leads because the leads just instantly snap. Okay, we have to go about 1,000 blocks in that direction, so I'm going to go as high as I can. Okay, ready for takeoff. Let's go. Ooh, I think it's working. There's 5 of them. Oh, I've got to see where I'm going. Okay, we are not going to make it the whole way. I'll go down and up. Yeah, we are going to have to walk quite a ways, but this has given us a bit of a head start. Okay, a smooth landing. Nice. Well, since we're already in an icy biome, why don't we wait for 5 of the frogs to grow up, and then that way we can have all of the ochre frogs and the pearlescent frogs. Phew, there we go. Whew, that's nice. Much cozier. It's a bit of a cold floor, but I think they'll be okay. Ooh. Yep, the ice is already starting to melt, which also means we'll need a better floor. I don't know, obsidian's the most abundant block I have. No, they're gonna get completely lost under the ice lake. I'm still attached to the other one. Okay. No. No, what is going on? This is a disaster. Okay. One of them is missing, but I'll get it in a while. I'll get it later. No. Oh, I'm gonna die. Phew. This way, everyone. Whew. All secured. So now I'll make a little pond for the tadpoles, but I'll make sure to make it completely safe. Okay, there you go, there's 5 of them. Feed them all a bunch of slime balls. Whoa, no, get in the water. No. I'll make a little bar like that so that doesn't happen again. There's one. Okay, the cold biomes give us the green frogs, actually. Okay, so is it the warm biomes that give us the pearlescent ones? Perfect. We have 5 green frogs and 5 ochre frogs. That's all 10 of them. Let's go. Our base is just over these mountains. If I walk sideways like this, it's slower, but at least I can keep an eye on them. I heard one break. Or it didn't break? I thought I heard one snap. Yeah, where's the 5th brown frog? I only heard it snap just then. Kind of just disappeared. Maybe he got stuck under there? I was right. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe I was actually right about that. Okay. We've got them all again. Let's do a head count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Okay. I was so confused for a second there. There's the castle in the distance. We've still got 10, yep. Okay, let's take a leap of faith. Whoa. Let's try and get over the lake. River, I mean. Yay, we did it. Almost there. I'll park them pretty close to the nether portal, which is pretty close to our house. Okay, I'm just going to drop them off in this random chest. There's 2. Hopefully... yeah, there we go. All 10 of the frogs. That is a strange sight to see in my backyard. Okay, now we need to find out how we get these frogs into the nether portal, which is in here. I don't think that's really going to work, so it's probably best if I temporarily break this nether portal, build a new one up here, transport them all through, and then we can break the new nether portal and reconnect it to there. So I guess I can just attach the leads to these boats and go through. I don't really know how leading boats works now with all the new mechanics, but yeah, they're going up and they went through. That's the silliest thing I've ever seen, but it works. Yeah, they all are. Perfect. There's 1, and there's 3. I'll just make sure everything's okay on the other side. Oh, he's in the portal. Quick. There we go. Okay, that should be all of them. And while I'm at it, might as well break this portal structure. And we can relight this one. It's been quite a while since I built a frog light farm, but surely it can't be that hard. Frog light farms are pretty simple. All you need to do is you need to attract the magma cubes into a chamber where I guess they just fall down, and then you can use powdered snow to turn them into the little ones that the frogs can actually eat. So say we have an iron golem in the center of a farm with walls all around it. I don't know how big of a space the large magma cubes need to fall down, but let's just try this out. So yeah, he took a bit of damage there. What if we just put the walls all the way up, and just for safety we could put a slab here so no one can get on top of him. Can the magma cubes still see the iron golem? It looks like it. Yeah, he is taking damage, okay. But the little ones are fine. They can just slip underneath. But the medium ones do take damage. Oh, well. And then the big ones, of course, they get stuck and start to take damage. Now if we have a bunch of frogs in here, they should start eating and making frog lights. But can they jump out of the powdered snow? Well, a few of them seem to be jumping, like that one can jump out here where there's no powdered snow. But if they jump in the powdered snow, they seem to not be able to go very high. So I think the powdered snow keeps them in, which is good. Okay, I don't really need to fill all this in. I just need to test if we have... Are they all going to go to the iron golem? He's still taking damage like that. Well, maybe we can just surround the golem like this. And get rid of these blocks. And it does look like most of the... Yeah, now that the sight lines are cleared, they can all see the iron golem. And hopefully he can't take damage. Well, he just took damage, so... I don't know. What if we put some walls like this? So the sight lines are still available, but the magma cubes will be too big to fit through these gaps and actually hit the iron golem. Just let's test that out. It looks pretty promising. Nope, just took damage. Well, I think there's a much easier way to solve the problem of the iron golem getting hit from above, and that is when we make the roof, 3 blocks of height should be enough for the big ones to spawn. Yeah. The magma cube shouldn't be able to jump very high, so it shouldn't be able to attack the iron golem from above. Yep. Okay, well I think that is a much better idea. Okay, so we'll place an iron golem on a central block with walls like this, build out 4 blocks in each direction, and then build out another 10 blocks where we make a circle pattern and make glass walls 3 blocks high with a roof on top to stop the magma cubes jumping too high and to stop ghasts from spawning. And then we just have powdered snow here, and we can put the frogs in here. And we can have a rail minecart system underneath to pick up the drops. Sounds like a good plan. Huh. Okay. So we have some stone and glass, the iron golem, the walls for the iron golem, stuff for the collection chamber. We probably need more rails, I'm realizing, and a whole lot of powdered snow. So let's start off from the base of the farm. Let's start off with the collection system. I'm just going to build a system off the side of these. So we need a comparator, which will turn off the redstone torch, and then if there's stuff in here, it'll turn it off so the minecart stays and gets rid of all its items. So it does get a little bit slow at this section, but it makes it. Okay, that's good enough. I'll test it out by putting some items inside, and then when it gets to here, it'll turn off until all the items drain out before it goes off again. Very good. Okay, so we need one layer for the frogs. The powdered snow will be here, and then I think it was just 2 more layers is fine. And I guess we could just put in the frogs now. It's not like magma cubes do damage to them, so it should be fine. And I'll just put the powdered snow above them so they can't all escape. Okay, I might just bring a few at a time. That worked so well. That was perfect. Almost. Nice. Now we've got a frog tower. Okay, now let's get the powdered snow in before we break the boats. Hopefully I brought enough. I do not think I brought enough. That was 1 shulker box worth and a bit, so let's get 2 shulker boxes. That should be enough. Break the boat and place it in. And the next boat. Those are frogs. That's all the boats out and all the frogs in place. Then I need to somehow spawn an iron golem. I can just put it straight in like that. Or not. Let's make an iron golem here. And nudge him in. There we go. Next up, let's build the platforms where the magma cubes are going to spawn. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now I'll just connect them up with that circle shape. So it went 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then after that it went 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 1, yeah, 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay. Okay, that should be looking like a nice circle. Okay. Now we can just fill this entire area in. Okay, with that all done, we can work on building up the walls with glass. Now let's bring it up to 3 blocks high. Okay, there we go. So now we can build the roof, and I'm pretty sure magma cubes have 3x3 hitboxes, so if I just build gaps, if I just build it with gaps of 2 like this, then the big magma cubes, which are the ones that can really jump high, they shouldn't be able to jump high and kill the poor little iron golem. Okay, this is the last one, and perfect. That is all the glass strips placed. I do have a lot of glass, so if we need to, I could probably just fill it in now, but I think that'll work. So, a very strange looking farm from here. It looks like it's wearing a lopsided crown. Okay, and there we are, 256, and look at that. Look how many magma cubes there are. And the iron golem looks to be fine. That is amazing. Okay, let's build a little platform here so we can AFK safely. Oh, this is the height limit for building, so maybe I'll just go down here. I don't know, I like to be perfectly enclosed when I'm AFK. I know nothing can possibly spawn up here, but I don't know, I like to play it safe. So I'll build a box around myself like this. It's been about 1 minute, I guess. Let's see how we're doing. Wow, that's pretty good for a singular minute. Okay, well, like the rest of the farms that we built today, I'm going to AFK here for probably about 10 or 20 minutes just to make sure the sorting system doesn't overflow, and the hopper mine carts can manage. So yeah, I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Okay, well, it's been about 10-15 minutes. Looks to be still working, which is good. And let's see. Yeah, the storage seems to be handling itself fine. I'll just see how much this minecart comes back with. Yeah, that is quite a bit, so maybe if we AFK'd for a longer time, we'd have to add a few more hopper minecarts, but yeah, for about 15 minutes, this is a very good haul of frog lights. I'll just put these extra ones in here for now, but yeah, that is a very good amount of all the different frog lights. It's pretty equal, the amounts of all the different types that we're getting, so that's a good sign. And we've also got some magma cream too, so if we ever need to craft some fire resistance potions, that is going to be pretty useful. And we can finally leave the nether for today. It's looking pretty cool here with all our farms. Okay, so we have a bit of a bone meal problem in this world, and I'm going to need a lot of bone meal for the next farm I want to build. I think before we do that, I need to build some sort of moss farm. And I found a really cool modular design, which I will link the tutorial on how to build it in the description below. And so I think I'll build about 5 of these. I think I'll build it kind of near the gunpowder farm, and we can maybe AFK it while we AFK for some gunpowder. Okay, well, with that as a bit of a plan, let's go gather some materials. Okay, now I need 30 jack-o'-lanterns per module, I think. So that's 150 jack-o'-lanterns, which this little aesthetic pumpkin farm isn't going to produce. So, seeing as how we need so many pumpkins, and I was kind of wanting to make a pumpkin farm also, I might just quickly make a simple little pumpkin farm that we can get the jack-o'-lanterns we need from. Okay, well, I'll try and just fit it in this little area between all these farms here. Let's just do this in a quick time lapse, and then we can move on to the moss farm. Okay, well, here is the pumpkin farm. I've been here for a little while already, and I've got a pretty good amount of pumpkins. Yeah, it's kind of cool how it just fits in here nicely between the farms. I guess you could make this design in any shape you wanted. It would be kind of cool if you had an industrial district of some kind, and the floor was just made of glass, and below it you can see the entire area of the floor is just pumpkin and melon farm. Maybe that's an idea for the future. Okay, that's enough. There's phantoms. There they are. What? That's a lot of seeds. That's even more seeds. Oh my goodness. So many. Okay, perfect. The perfect amount of inventory space. Okay, well, we have all the materials here. So let's hop into a time lapse of building up the moss farms. Okay, well, the moss farm is finished, and I've got to say, I think it looks really cool. It looks like some sort of skyscraper. Yeah, I really like how it turned out. It looks really nice at night as well with all the jack-o'-lanterns. We built it close to the creeper farm here so we can AFK for gunpowder at the same time. When I built it in the tutorial, when it shows the modular design, it shows it one block down, so instead of a 2-block wall of moss here, it's just 1 block. But I was having trouble when I built this first one with the composters catching fire, because they were seemingly too close to the lava, so I just built it 1 block up, and I did that for all of them, and none of the composters have caught fire since, so I think the issue is solved. But for some reason, the top one isn't producing any bone meal, and the dispenser isn't really firing at all. I built it in the exact same way. I've checked it, double checked it a million times, and for some reason it's just not working the same. So I don't really know why that is. So I guess this 5th one is a bit of a waste. But I'll keep it up there. Maybe it'll magically start working when we AFK the farm. But I need to create a storage system. I extended all the hoppers out to here, so I'm going to make a hopper line that goes from the top all the way down to a few chests down there. So let's do that now. I could make an automatic crafter which turns the bone meal into bone blocks, but I'm not really bothered. So it should, once the dispensers fill up, it should start producing about 10,000 bone meal per hour, but it might be a bit slower because of that 5th module not working for some reason. It might just produce like 8,000 per hour, but that is still more than enough for me. Okay, I'll turn the farm on, I'll go up to the gunpowder AFK chamber, and we'll see how much gunpowder and how much bone meal we can get. So I'll check in about 2 hours time. Okay, so I just flew down to check on the resources, and we have a lot of gunpowder. As you can see, it's not overflowing, it's only filled up to here in the hopper, but that is a really good amount of gunpowder. I think I ended up AFKing for about 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours, so we ended up getting quite a lot of stuff. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 whole double chests and almost a half filled with bone meal, so that is really, really good. The only thing is you can't unload it while it's still running or it will break, so every time I leave the area I have to turn it off first. So maybe I'll leave a sign up in the AFK chamber telling me or reminding me that I have to turn it off, but I think I'll remember. Also, I updated the game to the new update. Well, when I'm recording this, it is a new update. By the time this video comes out, it's probably not that new. I updated to the 1.21.11 update, which I think is the Mounts of Mayhem update, where you have the new zombie horses, which are really cool. I want to find one of those. And the new Nautilus are here, or Nautili, I guess. And I've seen a few swimming around here. There aren't any at the moment. I've also seen about 3 drowned Nautili with the drowned riding them, and they all, oh, there's one. Yeah, so they're pretty cool. But as I was saying, I've seen about 3 of the drowned Nautili with the drowned riding them, and they all had tridents. And a few of them even had enchanted tridents, which I didn't know was possible. Sadly, none of them dropped, so we still just have our 1 trident here. And also there is a chicken in the middle of the ocean. I don't know how it got there. There's also a really rare Nautilus, I think, which is... I think it only spawns in the coral reef biomes, and it has, and it's covered in like coral and stuff. So I don't know how rare that is, or if it's even rare at all. But it might be cool to get one of those. For now, let's craft down all this bone meal into bone blocks and see if we can fit it in these shulker boxes. And yeah, that's a full shulker box of bone blocks. So that is really good. Now hopefully these are enough for all the gunpowder, and yeah, they won't be. So I might have to come back for the rest of the gunpowder, but that's okay. And that's all the gunpowder we can fit, so I'll just leave this here for now. There we go. Alright, well that was a great success. Looks really cool as well, so I'm very happy with that. And once again, I'll be leaving all the farm designs in the description below. I'll try and find the original creator of the farms, but sometimes it's a bit difficult. The next farm that we're going to build today is a mangrove tree farm. Now these are kind of complicated because mangrove trees are so big and annoying, but I think I found a pretty good design. Looks a little bit complicated, but I think it's pretty simple compared to some other designs, and it seems quite efficient. And it works in a pretty interesting way too, so I recommend that you check out the video yourself. It is a pretty big farm though, so I'm going to build it out in the ocean. But we need to get some materials first, so let's do that. So the designer of the tree farm has a tutorial for the slightly older version, and just a light Matica file for the fully updated version. So I think I'm just going to try building it off of light Matica. There's a few things that can go wrong with light Matica schematics and redstone builds, but it should be okay. The only thing is with this farm is that it consumes a ridiculous amount of bone meal. So the bone meal that we generated after an hour or two AFK will probably only last this farm about half an hour. But that half an hour should still give us a pretty good amount of logs. So we can just load up the material list here for Fruno's Mangrove Farm version 1.1, and here are all the materials, so that's really nice. There is a shulker box unloader in it for all the bone meal, so I guess I'll build that too, it might as well. These blocks of iron I think are just building blocks, but just to make it easier, I will just use iron blocks as well because I have so many I might as well. So there we go, all the iron blocks. I'll bring a few extra just in case. And lastly we need a target block and white wool. Okay, and that is all the resources we need to collect. And I think it's best we do this in a time lapse as well because it's not my design and I will be able to explain basically nothing. But I'll link the video of the farm in the description below, where you can find the light Matica file, and he also has a tutorial for the older version where he goes into detail about the design of the farm and how it works. So if you want to know more, then definitely check that out because it's pretty interesting how it works. It uses some cool game mechanics, but they're too complicated for me to explain. Let's hop into a time lapse of building up the mangrove tree farm in this area here. Okay, well, I will unload the schematic. I think I placed everything down where it should be. This is just all the leftover stuff. So this is what it looks like. This area is starting to look pretty cool now. I don't know if the TNT duper is going to work, because sometimes you have to build these things in the correct order. Like, you have to place the blocks in the correct order, so it might just completely blow up, but that's okay. So let's go through it a little bit. So this is where you put the bone meal shulker boxes. This is a 6x hopper speed unloader. I had to look up the tutorial on how to build this, because getting the minecarts in those positions is very difficult when you don't know how to do that. But yeah, so the minecarts are over 4 hoppers each, so they unload the items much faster. I guess you just put the struggle boxes into here, and then it looks like the comparator reads this. The sticky piston, I guess, retracts that. Yeah, I kind of have no idea how this works. But might as well just try and put some bone meal in there. And hopefully I can just put it in here and nothing's happening. I think this redstone block, it's got to go there. Okay. Everything looks okay. So put that in. I don't think that's supposed to be in there, but we are getting, for some reason, oh, this dropper is filling up now. Okay, so that's good. So all the droppers are filling up with bone meal at a very fast rate. So every time before we start the farm, we can just put a bunch of shulker boxes with bone meal in this chest, and they will unload. Okay, then if we start this clock, that should activate the TNT duplicator. I'll just go to sleep so it's easy to see. That should activate the TNT duplicator and put all the bone meal into these hoppers here. But anyways, I guess let's go ahead and just flick this lever and get out of the way of the TNT. Oh, there we go. That seems to be working right. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to explode at different points. So one lower and one higher, one lower. Okay, well that's working well. It's just a little bit dangerous. And then the bone meal is firing. So I guess we just have to stand there and place in the propagules. And turning it off works. Or does it? Oh no. Well, it did all explode. It was working fine, just turning it off seemed to break it. Well, I don't know why that happened. Well, I've spotted a problem. I don't know if it'll fix it, but hopefully it does. I don't know if I'll have enough leftover materials, but hopefully we do. So this is what Lightmatica is, for those who don't know. It's a schematic mod that just shows you where to place the blocks. I think following a tutorial is better, because there are some things that might be a bit hard to do via schematic, which can lead to some problems like we had there. And what I did wrong is I assumed this block was just water. I shouldn't have assumed. I should have realized that up here, this block is a slab, and that you're supposed to waterlog the slab like this. And now if we break, so that's what I did wrong. I don't know how much of a difference that'll actually make, but hopefully it'll make enough of a difference that this will actually work now. That should all be fine. I mean, maybe there's another problem that's going wrong, but hopefully that'll fix it. I won't put the propagules in just yet. I will unload the schematic. We've got some bone meal in here. Let's turn this on. kind of cool. You get a nice viewpoint up to the Thankyou duper. But yeah, now the scary part. Can I turn it off? Oh yes, it's working. Yes! So that was the problem. Okay, I'm glad it wasn't some big issue. Let's load it up with some bone meal, and then let's put the propagules in. I'm going to put my chest plate on, because I'm a little bit scared that Tinty's going to fly over here and hit me. I could place a wall here, but I don't want to interfere with anything. So the player stands on this block. You need to grab some propagules to start. And then I guess I just turn it on. Okay, everything sounds okay so far. Things are still happening. I'm going to run it until either we run out of bone meal or propagules. I'm seeing a ridiculous amount of bone meal particles. Looks like an emerald sky. Okay, I'm just going to turn it off. And, well, this place looks like a jungle. So let's hope that the TNT duplicator turns off properly. Let's check to see it's intact. And yes, it is supposed to look like this wall of mangrove leaves here. So that is good. This place looks pretty cool now though, vines growing everywhere. And for about 5 minutes, that is a pretty good amount of mangrove logs. Let's start the farm. I'm going to sit here, place in the propagules, and yep, I'll see you in probably about 15 minutes. Okay, we've run out of bone meal. I don't know exactly how long it's been. And let's see how much mangrove wood we have. Wow, that, yeah, it's pretty good. That will hopefully be enough to last me quite a while. And all the shulker boxes made it to the chest, so this is working, which is good. Okay, so almost 2 shulker boxes in about 15 minutes of AFK time. Okay, well that is a great success. This ocean area is coming along, and we have 2 very nice farms here now, along with the gunpowder and the guardian farm. So I've been trying to design a super fast, super small wheat farm for the last like half an hour, because I don't want to build one of those big villager based ones. But the problem is pistons, when they push down on wheat, it destroys the farmland block. But I just had an epiphany. I just realized that you can push a piston, the farmland block stays, and it breaks the wheat. So I think I may have found out how we can make a miniature wheat farm with this horrible mess of redstone, because it's in such a tight space. I just need to figure out the timing with the bone meal, and then we should be good to go. Alright, let's test it. Oh, it might be perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10. No, we should have 10 wheat altogether. Got 1 in my inventory. Oh my! We have 10 wheat. No way! I'm so surprised that this actually works. Okay, well, I'll run it until the bone meal runs out, and let's see how much wheat we can get. And we have a decent amount of wheat, so I think it's working. Oh well, that was a bit of a frustration, but if we ever need wheat for packed mud, there's probably faster ways to get it. But we have this if we ever need it. I'm basically completely out of redstone, and I need to find a way to get it, so I think I'm going to build a witch farm. Not the sort of witch farm where you have to destroy a 100 by 100 or 128 by 128 radius around it and create a perimeter in the ground. No, that will be way too much work for today's video. Witches now drop way more items than they used to, way more redstone anyways, so now it's not as necessary to build a perimeter around the entire witch's hut to get decent rates. So I found a pretty cool witch farm design, a shifting witch farm. I don't really know how it works, but I will try to learn a few things and we can have a look at it once it's built. Once again, I'll leave the tutorial in the description below. There is a swamp that way in the world, and I have located a witch's hut in it, so I'm going to go ahead and collect all the resources and I'll see you in the swamp. I'm here at the swamp and there it is. I found a witch's hut. This is in a pretty good location because half of it's surrounded by water, so I only have to light up a small area in this direction. Okay, well, we're here, we've got the resources, let's hop into a time lapse of building up the witch farm. Okay, the witch farm is done. Also, witches are beginning to spawn. I think that's the top of a witch's hat. Looks a bit strange, but yeah. But before we AFK here, we need to light up the whole area around the farm. Luckily, a lot of it is ocean, but we still have to light up this whole area. Whoa. Didn't expect that. Okay, let's go up to the top and see what areas we still need to spawn proof. Turn on my hitboxes. Those are passive mobs, so it should be fine. There's quite a few witches down there. Those are all passive mobs. Those are all passive mobs. So it looks like we should be fine. I don't see any hostile mobs spawning. Why don't we turn the farm on and give it a test? I just have to flick this lever. Go up. Yeah, we're seeing a good amount of witches in there already. And we're seeing no other hostile mobs. Okay, well, let's see. We already have a good few stacks of redstone. Like all the other farms today, I'll AFK here for about 10 minutes and we can see how much redstone we get. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes, more like 5 minutes, because I realized I didn't have looting on my sword, so I had to go back and enchant it. I'm also getting quite a few healing potions. The witches must be drinking them, and then when you kill one while it's drinking, you get the potions. That is a really good amount of redstone for only about 5 or 10 minutes. That is really good. The only thing is we're going to have to expand this storage system if we AFK here for much longer. There you go, already almost 3 stacks of redstone blocks. That is incredible. I never have to trade with villagers again. I guess I can take the other stuff too, like glowstone and gunpowder and sugar. Look at all the particle effects coming off them. There's fire resistance. I don't know what that purple one is. It's pretty cool though. It makes me want to experiment with particle effects in my world because you can make some pretty cool stuff with them like this. Oh well, that is a great success. So I'm going to head back and put all this stuff away. Also, before we go, I'm just going to light up this island here. And then I'm going to take down the coordinates here. And then I will divide those by 8. I'll go to the coordinates in the nether and we can make a nether portal to this area, because it does take quite a while to get over here. 241, negative 159, like this. So now I'll just build the portal here. And hopefully we'll be on that little island, or maybe just, yeah. Perfect. So now we have easier access to the witch farm over there, and the slime farm and flower farm over there. Instead of having to fly 3,000 blocks, you can just hop in a portal and fly a few hundred blocks. And with that basically completes this two-part video series on automating everything. We have the swamp area, which I just showed, with 3 farms. We have the main industrial district. We've got the area under the castle for bamboo, sugarcane and wheat. We've got a flower farm in that house. We have a fern farm, bush farm and a honey farm in these small greenhouses. Then we can fly out a bit further to our ocean area, where we have the ENXO4 Guardian farm, and a bit further in this direction we have the trio of the gunpowder farm, the moss bone meal farm and the mangrove tree farm. Thank you very much for watching. This has been a very successful few videos. We have now basically automated everything that is annoying to get in this game anyways. So now building will be so much easier and we won't have to spend hours collecting annoying blocks like mangrove. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. There's always going to be more farms to build in the future with new blocks and updates that come out, but for now I think we have the ability to farm almost everything. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one.